minutes of today really working on the marketing side, starting right now with a bunch of what I refer to as the listing attraction brilliant basics. So now I need you to put your sales and marketing hat on. Take the team builder hat off and think sales and marketing, whether it is, Whitney, you by yourself, here's what I want to see done, or through my marketing director, or these are the things that we will do as a team, all of us together. So it starts not trying to change your business plan goals for all my coaching clients, but it starts with this intention. How many listings do you want to take in the next 10 months? How many listings do you want to take in the next 10 months? So I'm going to talk to you about listing attraction brilliant basics. Then I'm going to bring up 3 insanely great agents, one of which had 100 listings she took last year. Another one had 73, and the other one had 32, right? So giving you a nice range of what men and women, your peers, are doing every day to crush it. Then Jason Pantana is going to talk to us about branding and marketing from a higher level perspective so you can all implement even more. And then the last section, I'm going to talk to you just about your database and the brilliant basics to activate your database. So we're going to start first with just pure listing attraction for the most part outside of your database. So how many do you want to take? And I'm seeing people putting up numbers, 30, 24, 75, 52, hike, right? Barbara Schaefer wants to take 24. Barbara, guess what? If you put a 1 in front of that, the things I'm going to talk to you about can help you do that just as well. So I'm not dogging your 24 goal, but I am saying to you, Barbara, here's a little heads up. 10% of the people in your database, 10% of the people in your database have already transacted or are looking to transact. Now take everyone's database and consider what that means. You've got 10% of the people right now in the US, Canada, Australia, New Zealand that are all saying, hey, if this is going to be the world for a while, how am I viewing my home and what do I want to do and where do I want to live? So not to go too deep in this, but anybody that's newer to me knows, Trudy, I'm all about like having multiple sources, right? Multiple different approaches. So I'm going to touch on a few of these as a way for you to say, okay, remember earlier, do I want a 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom, 5-bedroom, 6-bedroom house? Think of that metaphor as I'm architecting my business as, do I want 2 working lead pillars, 3 working lead pillars, 4, 5, 6, 7 lead pillars, all focused on listing attraction. So the first of the brilliant basics is this. This will get all of you listings this week if you take action on what I'm about to share with you. Many of my coaching clients, you've heard me talk about this before. This is the response to this text message. This simple text message. Now it looks simple, Rhonda Frick, but understand having the, call it 6 or 7 bananas inside of the text is very intentional. Do you want to know why? Because when I get 30 or 40 or 50 or 100 text messages and they're all just text, if one has an emoji, a heart, the little poop, a couple of bananas, it's eye candy. It's catchy. Immediately, I'm going to be more captivated. So I'm going to literally ask you to text every person in your database, Gordon Sampson, not tomorrow, 20 today, 20 the next day, 15 the next day, and over time, I want you to get through your entire database. Over time, right? I want you to get through your entire database with something as simple as this. Now you can flower it up as much as you want. You know, hey, haven't seen you in a while. Hope you and the fam are doing great. You know, heard about your mother, saw that post on Facebook, you know, heart emoji. You could flower it up as much as you want, but the essence is the real estate market is bananas. If you haven't heard, I was reaching out to see if you were curious about your home's new value. That's it. I'm just curious about you. I just saw, look at, yes. Marnie Sennett just said, this works. I made $600 off Tom at the last BluePrint, which was like in 2018. She got 6 appointments in 1 hour doing what I'm talking about while the seminar was going, my friends. Don't do that now. Don't do that now. But here's the response rate. Ready? So over a 4-week period, you don't want to send, like if If you have like 500 people in your database and you send all 500 a text message this week, 85% of the people are going to respond and you're going to be blown away. You're going to have too much work. So pace it out over a few weeks. 144 people responded. 44 people said, yes, I'd like a CMA on my home. Yeah, make one for me. 38 CMAs created. Here's why. When you're like, what's the disconnect? 12 people identify themselves as, I want to move, Robert, but I don't want to do it for another year or two. Now, look up here, my friends. Look up here. Your job right now is to guarantee yourself listings in 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 18 months, 24 months. That's your job. You need like a secret wall in your office or in your house or on your phone of all the sellers that have said, hey, in 2 years when Phil retires, hey, when the last one finally goes off to college, we're selling the 4-bedroom house and getting a 1-bedroom condo and not telling any of our children where we live, right? Like all those stories that we know are happening right now, you want to be stacking up, Ted, all of those future sellers. And you could see out of the 144 responses, 10% said, hey, I'm moving the next 1 to 2 years, right? That's pretty insane. 3 listings taken immediately. 4 clients referred to their lender for a refi. That's value, Terry. And 2 people got approved to buy investment properties. All from copy, paste, change name, send. Copy, paste, change name, send. Now, all of my existing teams, I see the magnificent Paula Clark right here. Paula, do this as a team. Do this as a team. Have the whole team do this exercise, and let's spring load all of the future listings for the spring market in the next 2 weeks. It's so powerful, my friends. So that's one. That's a brilliant basic. Another brilliant basic that you all understand is leveraging your qualified buyers to attract more sellers. Now, everybody knows today the magic buyer letter. We know all the new rules and regulations, so we all got to be very mindful of, like, you actually have to have a buyer and all this good stuff, so follow the rules. But the Yikes campaign, as we refer to it in its purest, is about that hand-addressed, hand-stamped, hand-addressed, hand-stamped, odd little postage stamp, right? Like a birthday cake, a wedding cake, a photo of a baby. The second you do this, my friends, your results go through the roof. The second you do this, your results go through the roof. But if it says Remax, Coldwell Banker, Century 21, ERA, Compass, Berkshire Hathaway, any real estate brand, it gets thrown in the trash. The whole game is get it opened. Get it open. Because then you can say, dear neighbor, wanted to let you know we sold the house down the street, or I'm representing a buyer, Tom and Kathy Ferry. His 93-year-old mother-in-law and their puppy are desperate to live in Bananaville. They need a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. If you or anyone you know has had any thoughts, let's have a private conversation, etc., etc. This strategy, my friends, is killing it. Now, one thing you're not going to see here, write it down. You ready? When you're a team, now you're going to do this. We have 16 buyers pre-qualified who have written on average and been rejected or lost 3 times. This group wants to buy a 4-bedroom, 3-bath. This group wants to buy a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. This group is looking for a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. If you or anyone you know matches any of this criteria, please call me today. I'm aggressively working on behalf of my buyers, trying to help them get a home. And you're seeing all the notes. Ready? I just did this for the first time, and I got 3 listing appointments. Thank you, Shannon, for executing, right? Congratulations. Again, this isn't crazy stuff. This is called the brilliant basics. These are the basics, which implies if you're not doing text messaging in a 2021 environment, you should be sending faxes. Like, this is the way we communicate today. And if I have buyers, this is how I leverage it. Take a look at this. And again, for a lot of my coaching members, you probably have already done this piece. But I'm strongly recommending also to get more listings that, Debbie, when you sell a property, that you do something like this. Instead of just the typical just sold card, instead you do a case study where you explain to the consumers, you explain to the neighbors how you did what you did. So if we break this card down, 24 Avalon, how did we do it? That's actually on the card. And then you see, literally, John, here's the prep and the marketing that we took 4 weeks on. Now, this is what every one of you does. The problem is you never tell me the story. You just give me the baby, right? Instead, I'm telling you, give me the story about how you did it. We came in, I brought in my designer, I brought in my stager, we got rid of the carpet, we put in wood floors, we modified this, we spent some money here, we did this, we did that, we did this, and here's the result. We sold the property with 6 offers in 5 days. Now the seller's like, oh, wait a minute, I can list it with my buddy, Phil, who sold 2 houses last year, and he tells me the market's really hot and my home's going to sell in 2 seconds, which is why he's going to give me a discount commission. But now I'm looking at this card from this gal, Marilyn, who's telling me she took 4 weeks to do all of that. And then she got 6 offers, not 1. And look at the results on Zillow and Trillia and the Hot Home on every website that I've been looking at. She got it everywhere. And then a basic little CTA. My friends, how you market today is everything, but look up here. I'm going to give you one that I just shared with one of my consulting clients. I said, I think the ultimate just sold now looks like this. You standing in front of the house with your phone or your director of marketing holding a phone, and you're like, hey, it's Tom Ferry with Banana Real Estate, standing in front of my recent sale that just closed right here at the corner of Humma Humma Nana Nana. It's 1234 Banana Street. I actually met this client 7 months ago. I was reaching out for a buyer that was interested in buying a home, and they said, we're not interested this time, and we're not really certain because we might need to fix up our house, but they invited me over. And I showed up, and I actually brought my design team to really help them understand that as a full-service real estate brokerage, we don't just list the house. We do everything it takes to optimize profitability and make the transaction as easy as possible. So I want to show you what we did, right? And all of a sudden the video starts going to before and after. Before and after. Kitchen looked like this. You wanted to kill yourself. Kitchen looks magnificent. The garage had dead bodies in it. Now it's beautiful and there's cars and a gym, right? And you show them everything you did. Then you say, but then we shot a video to really expose the property to the highest quality never. And I'm doing this here. How many of you get what I'm saying? Raise your hands. Because the postcard's going to get a certain response. But this video on 24 listings sold, 32 listings sold, 85 listings sold, where you tell the story and you have it edited, the before and afters, oh my goodness, bonkers and bananas. Take a look at this piece. All my longtime clients, you might even want to take a screenshot of this immediately because it's not going to be inside that workbook yet. I just added it in. The amazing Glenda Baker down in Atlanta, Georgia. We have talked for years about sending out the prior year sales, John, where you'd say, in 2020, we helped this many people buy and sell real estate. What I love about the way she thinks and so many in our community think, Heidi, she said, it's one thing for me to say, hey, we had a record year, but what was the result to the client? If you read this, look at this, days on market. You saved $5,092.48 because we sold it faster than everybody else. Right? Based upon your price ranges. Sales price to list price. You make. It's all about the experience to the customer. So I really hope you took a screenshot of this because this, as you're thinking about maybe your end of the first quarter, look back in terms of your results, end of the first half of the year, look back, and then Paula, your end of the year, here's what happened. Wouldn't it be fun, Paula, to say, just based upon our efficiency and our marketing plan, we saved our clients last year, $7,493 on average. But we made them because we sell our properties faster for a higher price, on average $11,000. You with me? Like, this is the ammunition, my friends, that the smartest marketers are using. So another one to consider, the ultimate is having your seller write a letter describing the experience, and then you take the letter and you mail it to the farm. This is like the secret weapon. This is the ultimate kill. This is This is why you all get so many referrals, but I'm trying to scale it. So instead of just 3 people being told, oh my God, I listed my property with Tammy, she was bonkers. Let me tell you, you knew we got that job transfer. You knew, Phil and I were already stressed. It was a terrible experience. She came in. Not only did she bring in a crew to fix up our house, right? She paid for everything, and we paid for it out of the closing, which I didn't even know was possible. She did this and this and this and this, and this is all in the letter that she writes and you send to the neighborhood. That is the ultimate third-party endorsement. And guess what? Some of you will say, well, how do I get my seller to write that? Look up here. You write the letter and send it to them and say, I'd love to send a letter from you. I put it in a Word doc. Change this and tweak it and adjust it as much as you want. But as we discussed, I would produce this kind of letter and then we'll send it out to everybody. Your sellers that love you will do it in 2 seconds. Very powerful. Okay. This question needs to be everywhere right now. This question needs to be everywhere. At least twice a month, you need to go on to your Instagram stories, your Facebook stories, and literally just type in, at what price would you consider being a seller? What's the price that would make you say to your spouse, honey, we have to move at that price? The more you're asking this, the more you're activating. Now, it can't be an everyday thing, but twice a month on social, once a month right now in this market to your entire geographic farm, right? Having a page built on your website that says, name your price. And I would literally put, who cares what Zillow thinks? Buyers are paying more. Name your price. Fill it in. There's so many opportunities, my friends, and these are the basics. These are the basics. Now, let's talk about one of the biggest opportunities around the world right now. And I'm sorry for Vinny. I don't have the numbers on South America, specifically Sao Paulo, but if you got them, please send them to me. Non-owner occupieds. Now, I've showed this slide a few times to my clients, and I could see now that my little houses somehow got a little jumbled there. But as an example, in the U.S., there's 138 million homes. 21 million of them are investment properties. Look at Canada. For all my Canadians, 15,400,000 houses, 4 million, Craig, are investment properties. In Canada, something like 49% of the GDP is housing. It's bonkers. In Australia, you see the numbers, again, very incredible. And I'm still trying to get the data on Europe, talking to Doug, Michael Polzler, and all those guys, trying to pull that data, but there's no national, resource for us yet. Here's the point, my friends. Here's the point. If you want listings right now and you're not targeting the investment properties that have seen more appreciation and gain than they've ever seen in the last 10 years, those of us that were buying in 2010, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, those rental properties have skyrocketed in terms of price. Now, what's the obvious? Pulling up the list, adding it to your database as another pillar, right? Another bedroom for listing opportunities, sending out direct mail and making phone calls. I'm going to give you everything, but I want to give my U.S. friends a little heads up. Did anybody see some of the things that Biden is proposing right now? Now, I'm not being political. I'm being someone that cares about real estate. If 1031 exchange goes away, what do you think is going to happen to the transactions in this part of the world? Right? Now, I'm not saying they're going to do it, but it's being proposed. I think Biden's been around long enough to know that's a very bad idea. But if I own a bunch of rental properties and no one is calling and saying, hey, heads up, are you looking at this? Is it in your consideration? My friends, I'm not telling you, but I'm telling you, I have friends that are selling everything as we speak for fear of if this happens. And the worst case scenario is they go put it all in the stock market and then they start buying shopping centers and everything else. It just is what it is. But if you don't tell me what's going on, in my opinion, you're not being a really good advocate for me as an investor, right? On the flip side, what if the capital gains goes up? They're talking about in the U.S. going from 20 to 40. Who's going to sell an investment property when you now pay 40% tax plus your state when you used to pay 20? Now, again, I am not proposing that this is what they're discussing. I'm emailing every CEO I know and saying, tell me you're writing, tell me you're talking to Bob Goldberg, tell me we are doing everything in our power to knock this shit out. Because this is troublesome stuff for all of us, right? Not being political, this is just real estate. This is the business, right? So you better go after them right now. You better send them all a letter and give them a heads up, right? Maybe include like the CNBC financial, like print out the blog post and say, this is what they're proposing, highlight it and say, did you know? And then say, look, I'm representing people that want to buy. I got people that want to live in your area. Anything that, Kevin, is honest and real for you. You with me? Anything that is honest and real for you, right? Do not try and fear people into selling. That would be stupid. Hey, did you see this? Highlight it. Did you see this? I know you've owned that property for more than 10 years. I know you've already depreciated the value of it based upon our taxation laws. What are you thinking about doing? But the real secret weapon for all of you rock stars is you or your ISA making the calls. It's making the calls. I told this story a couple of years ago. This last summer, I married, that sounds funny, I was the officiant of my little sister's wedding. And her and her now husband, Colin, who were at our home last night, my wife just walked in. Hey, Kathy. She is married to this guy because he cold called my stepmom and said, hey, Mrs. Ferry, I noticed you own a property over here, blah, blah, blah. They start talking. She thinks he's pretty intelligent. She asks him, are you single? She hooks him up with her daughter. They're now married. You tell me, do good things happen when good people actually make phone calls? We all know the answer. So I'm not going to bore you with the script, but we've given you everything here, right? You're going to have all of this stuff just inside for you to activate and use. The bottom line is anything you say at this point is good. Hey, I'm calling to let you know home price appreciation has gone from X to Y. All your investment properties are up. How's your rents doing? What's going on? Just having an intelligent conversation, being authentic, being real, and you're going to win. Now, on your database, here's a no-brainer. You really, 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 my friends, need to, over the next, call it 60 to 90 days, send every person you sold a home to from basically 2010 forward an updated CMA on their house. You need to proactively send every single person you sold a house to with a note that just says, OMG, Nancy, congratulations, right? Letting them know the new value, which will startle them. And then what do? You follow up with a phone call. Hey, Doug, congratulations. Your lake home went from X to Y in just 4 short years. Doug, don't you wish you would have bought 2? Right? That would have been the first thing I would have said. Don't you wish you would have bought 2? Well, I'm calling to let you know we've got a massive supply and demand issue happening right now in the marketplace. We got more buyers, low interest rates, and less homes coming on the market, creating, again, this enormous supply and demand challenge in the marketplace. I'm just curious, have you guys had any thoughts of trading up, trading out, getting something new, getting something bigger? I mean, do you need more room for the dogs? Do you need less room for the dogs? Like, Doug, grandkids, come on, buddy, what are you thinking, right? You having these conversations, my friends, along with everything else, these are the fundamentals. So before we switch into our panel, just stop for a second. And I want you to write down, remember, just like adding bedrooms to the architecture and design of our business, we need to add brilliant basics that we know will generate listings. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to add? What are you going to say to your coach? Okay, Doug, hold me accountable to this. Okay, Catherine, I need to get on this, right? I keep talking about it every week. Hold me accountable. I got to get it done.